Okay, so with like literally 5 minutes of work, probably less, I got the old bushing and pilot bearing out with this tool. Super easy, and literally it's free to rent. Like just borrowed it from the auto parts store. This was so much easier than the last time I did it. You know, like stuffing it full of bread or paper or whatever, like will work if you can find the right size bolt to go in the middle, but it's a pain, and this is so much easier. Like just rent the tool and do it the right way. It's literally free. You get all your money back when you bring it back to the auto parts store, so just do it that way. But anyways, I'm going to pull the rear main seal and replace it. Then I'll start putting everything back together. Alright, as you can see, I got the new pilot bearing and rear main in. When I started to pull out the old rear main, some oil started leaking out, so I decided to go ahead and drain the oil. I needed to change it anyways after the first startup, so I got the oil drained out and replaced the seal and went ahead and threw the pilot bearing in there. I went ahead and changed the filter too. I already got the new filter on. And now I'm gonna just throw the transmission and clutch and flywheel and all that good stuff back on and put new good oil in it. So yeah, that's the plan. Alright, just a little test fitting the new flywheel, clutch, and pressure plate together. They all fit together well, all the dowel pins line up, so we're all set. So I'm going to put the flywheel on first and torque it now, and then put the clutch on. Should all be pretty easy from here. And the new clutch is absolutely gorgeous. I know that the way it looks doesn't mean anything, but hold on just a second. I mean, the way it looks doesn't necessarily mean anything, but look at this clutch and tell me it's not beautiful. This is center force dual friction clutch is what I decided to go with. So yeah, nice, new, shiny, ready to go on. New flywheel to go with it. Of course, it comes with its own pressure plate, so I'm about to throw this bad boy in. Alright, got the flywheel installed and got the bolts torqued down. This is where it would be super nice to have a friend, because basically you need someone to hold a flat piece of metal, pry bar, or I just have some angle iron laying around against these dowel pins while you torque these down, because they need to be torqued to 85 foot-pounds. It's super difficult to do both at the same time by yourself, but I wasn't able to get anyone to come over and help me, so that's what I had to do. But anyways, got it done. Now I just need to put the clutch and the pressure plate on, and the pressure plate bolts are a much lower torque spec, 24, so that should be nice and easy, especially because there's an alignment tool for it. So I'm going to throw those on and call it a night. Alright, here it is, clutch and pressure plate and flywheel, pilot bearing and rear main seal all installed, torqued down and ready to go. So now I've just got the transmission and bell housing. Yeah, looking pretty good. I'm excited. Alright, so you may have noticed in that last clip that I did not put the block saver plate on before I put the flywheel on. So I had to go back and undo all that and then put it all back on, which really didn't take that long, but you know, it is what it is. And after I did that, I went ahead and put the transmission back on, which was fun to do by yourself, but definitely got it done. And now it's all mounted up. These bolts are all torqued down. So basically it's ready to throw the drive shaft on and fill it back up with transmission fluid. After that, I'm going to put oil in the engine and finish up a few things on the car, and it's actually pretty much ready to get tuned. So one big thing that I need to do is fix the steering wheel. Whenever I first got it, it was like a couple years ago. I was just getting into cars. I didn't know about buying good parts versus eBay parts, and this Boss kit shakes around like this. Way too much play. It's basically dangerous to drive on the street, but I really haven't been driving it much. So I got a new Boss kit to go on. The wheel is good, so I'm not worried about that. And yeah, I need to put the seats in and then put the harnesses in. And I'm going to need to make a harness bar of some sort to go back here. Maybe I'll make a strut brace slash harness bar sort of thing. So we'll see. We'll see how long the the harness is, if I can make that work or not. So we'll figure something out, and like I say, it'll be pretty much ready to tune. And I don't think I've talked yet about my power goals for the car. From what I understand, the stock block can't take much more over like 500 horsepower, and I really don't feel like blowing it as soon as I just built it. So probably gonna shoot for like 450, maybe 470, something like that. I don't want to get too risky with it. I've heard of people pushing 600 and being okay, but I don't know, I just don't feel like my luck is that good. So probably just gonna shoot for, like I said, 450, 470, and that should be plenty enough, plenty of fun on the street. And then who knows, maybe I'll get an aftermarket block at some point and go for real big numbers. But for now, I think I'll be more than happy with that. So that is what my goals are for the dyno. Okay, so I got a few more things done on the car. One is I vented the valve covers and the PCV, which is in the back right there. Normally it has a valve that goes to vacuum, but for a turbo setup you're supposed to vent it to atmosphere. So I got that, and the valve covers vented, so that's done. And then I ran some vacuum lines, one to the blow off valve down here, one to the wastegate right there, and I teed them and put them where the AC vacuum used to go, so they're now part of the vacuum system, and that's all good. Other than that, in the engine bay, I just need to clean it up and route wires in better places. And other than that, it's pretty much done. I ordered a turbo guard to go right here because the old filter is too big and wouldn't fit with this hose here. I will probably put some heat wrap on this hose. Hopefully this works. I don't think that the compressor side will get hot enough to melt it, but you know, it is kind of close to this. But I'm hoping the turbo blanket reduces a lot of heat because it's pretty close to the alternator as well, but we'll see. Other than that, I am waiting on some more heat wrap to come in so I can wrap this pipe that goes right here. But in the meantime, I'm just going to be using the old one because of the MAF and injector issue I already talked about. So yeah, other than that, I put the new aftermarket adjustable clutch cable in. It's already wired to the pedal, and it's already installed down here. Let me turn the light on. There it is. I got it tight there, and I'm gonna start the car and test it and see how it feels, make sure it goes into all the gears. I'll probably need to come back down and adjust it a little more, but should be super easy. And then once that's done, I'll put the cover back on that. But yeah, other than that, the engine bay stuff is pretty much done, and then I can move on to stuff on the inside. I've already got the seat brackets made, so I just need to mount the seats up and do the harnesses, and of course this steering wheel hub, need to put that replacement in. And then I want to start putting crash bars back on the car and getting it ready to go to the tuner. So yeah, just get it cleaned up, get stuff off it, and it's right there. This thing's like 98% done, like just a few small things left, and should be ready to go. Alright, so little update here. I've just been working on this thing all day. Basically, the thing is completely ready to tune. I got the engine bay all cleaned up as much as it's going to be anyways, as far as like getting wires out of the way and making sure nothing's touching something that's going to burn it. So at this point, it is pretty much ready to tune. Like I said, I'll have it like this for loading on the trailer, and then once I get to the actual place, I'll take this off and put the actual MAF sensor in, which goes down here. And I already got the wires run for the intake air temp. That'll go to that new MAF sensor. And then I will put the 42-pound injectors on, which are over there. And at that point, this thing will be 100% ready to tune. But it runs, it drives, the clutch is done, I tested it, it's good, it's adjusted, everything's 100% ready. So now I'm just getting it ready for being legal to drive on the street. So I'm not sure if you can drive on the street with these harnesses instead of seatbelt or not. I need to look that up. But either way, I'm going to put them in here. If I need the old seatbelt too, I'll just put that on top. But I'm just marking everything up. The seat, of course, is already ready to go. And then I'm just marking up spots for the harness. And I was seeing if I need to mount the harness to the floor someplace or to a harness bar. And it looks like the best way is just going to be to make a harness bar. So what I've got is a couple of bars that came out of the Eclipse that donated its engine to the truck. So this is the front strut brace that came out of that, and then this is part of the rear strut brace. Basically, it had two things on the end like this, and one is reverse thread, so as you turn the bar one way, it expands the whole thing. So basically, I'm not able to use this bar because it's not long enough. So I'm cutting off these threaded parts because I couldn't find the reverse nuts anywhere. So I'm just going to cut these off and weld them to a bigger pipe and make a strut brace for the rear.